I spent weeks leveling up my account to be able to take down one of RuneScape's hardest bosses. This boss has the potential to one-shot you if there are any mistakes made. And with it taking well over 1 hour just to reach the boss fight, I need to make sure my account is geared up and ready to take on this challenge. RuneScape isn't known for its advanced mechanics or tough bosses. Most of the in-game content you can brute force through with high-level stats and gear. But we don't have any of that because this account was made from scratch in our ongoing Noobnomore series. A series in which we are attempting to become a high-level RuneScape player. But there is one boss that we need to take down before we can grind any further. And that boss is Tiztok Jad, or Jad for short. Jad is a level 702 boss that sits at the last wave of the Fight Caves. So after brutally fighting our way through 62 waves of never-ending monsters, we will be met with an insane boss fight. Taking down Jad is no easy feat, as he can attack with all combat styles. And he's not really just attacking, he's launching devastating one-hit KOs, one right after the other. Any of these attacks has the potential to completely wipe our run, but luckily we have prayer. With just level 43 prayer, we can use protection prayers to completely negate all damage from one combat style at a time. But Jad will switch randomly, so we'll need to be on our toes the entire fight. And did I mention he also has healers that come out and attack you while healing him? Yeah, we have to deal with those too. But before we even think of setting foot in the Fight Caves, we have a lot of training to do. Currently, our stats are nowhere near the level needed to take down Jad, because there are really two main options that players use. Method 1, use expensive high-level melee gear to take down Jad extremely fast. This requires a small fortune worth of gear and level 90 plus in all melee stats. And I'm sitting with around 20 mil in the bank and level 40 combat stats, so we're gonna go ahead and cross this method off. Method 2 is to stand far away from Jad and use the toxic blowpipe to take him down. This method is much slower, but requires just level 75 range and a few mil worth of gear. So we're gonna be using this method to take him down. But our stats are still extremely low. With a range level of just 42, we have tons of training to do before we can even wield the toxic blowpipe. Luckily for us, I have two insane training methods that we're going to be abusing. The first method of training that we're going to be doing is the combat training at ammonite crabs. These bad boys have insanely high hit points, but extremely low combat stats. This makes them perfect for low-level players to train on, as each crab gives over 400 XP each. So to get from level 42 to level 75 ranged, we're going to need to kill around 3,000 ammonite crabs. Now that doesn't sound too bad, right? But ranged is not the only combat stat we need to level up. We really need to get combat stats all to level 70. This will allow us to wear Barrow's gear and the Blessed Dragon Hide. This Blessed Dragon Hide has buffed up stats and provides a juicy prayer bonus, which will be extremely important later on. But to get all combat stats level 70 and range to 75, we're going to need to kill around 10,000 ammonite crabs. So we better get to smashing these crabs. If you're a new player, you've probably never heard of the infamous ammonite crabs. These bad boys get a pretty nasty rap because of how extremely packed they are. During peak hours, you may have to hop through every single world and you still might not be able to get a spot. Luckily for us, we're going to be locking a spot down very early on in the morning and keeping it all day long. Did I mention the fact that ammonite crabs are great for their XP, but also what I didn't mention is that you can get legitimately 10 minutes of AFK. So I can stand up, make a sandwich, bust a nut, whatever I want to do, I'll have 10 minutes to do it, and then I'll just need to go back and reset the aggression. Super simple, it'll make the 10,000 that we have to kill fly by in no time. Okay, so if you guys have never really been on Fossil Island, or if you're brand new to the game, or whatever it really is, there's a couple of banks that you do need to construct first. The banks only really require 21 construction. You need to, eventually construct some other shit on the island to make it, completed, but it does require 29. I don't feel like leveling it up, even though it wouldn't be that big of a deal. If you all do want to go ahead and do that, honestly, you probably have to build two things. I don't care that much because we really only need to use bank. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to run over here. As you can see, it's pretty pretty much just empty spots over here, but it's going to be this little tent here. And then we're going to run all the way around the other side of False Island, all the way around here. And we're going to be able to use this bank as well. Essentially, there's a bunch of different spots for ammonite crab, but I have a favorite spot just because it's a little bit secluded. not really, but like it's less fighting than most of the other spots. And it's going to be this spot right here. There's going to be 3 crabs. You're going to sit in the middle. You're going to chill. 10-minute timer is going to go off. You're going to run out, run right back in. It's super duper fucking easy. So let's go ahead and build up this bank chest. Just like that. Boom. Beautiful. We can now use it. Everything's good in the world. Let's go ahead and gear all the way up. So essentially all I'm wearing is rune. I don't really need the rune, but it's better than wearing fucking graceful. We're going to put on our arty cloak, our combat bracelet, all of the nice juicy unlocks that we've achieved so far in the game, and now we're good. Now this is something that's up for debate, not really debate, but a lot of people seem to don't understand that you need to be using potions because they do boost your stats by 12. Do you all see that 12 right there? I'm going all the way from like in the 40s almost to the 60s just from using these. They're not that expensive. They're what, like 1k each, 2k each. It's not that big of a deal. It's going to increase your XP by a lot. And what I mean a lot, probably like 20%. So I would highly recommend sipping these. You don't let your stats get all the way down. I'll let it get to where it's about 6 below, boost all the way back up. Makes this super duper easy. We're going to drink a little stam for the run. And that's going to be it. We don't need any food or anything else. Actually, let's take our teleport to house tabs. Or our little runes right here, and this will be it. This is all we need. If we ever need to restock or do anything, we can just teleport out. But there is a bank, so you don't really ever need to do that. And I'm gonna be completely honest, this is gonna put a huge halt on our herb runs, which is okay. Every now and again, you do have to do stuff that, you know, you can't always be doing herb runs. That's perfectly fine. What we're gonna be doing here is really just focusing on banging out 60 in all of our melee stats as fast as possible. Once we get 60, we can then wear obsidian. We can also wear dragon, but we're going to stick to the obsidian gear for a while, and I'll explain its bonuses a little bit later once we get there. But as you all can see, we're almost to our magical spot, but there is a special plugin that you can use. It is called the NPC aggression timer. We're gonna go ahead and turn that on. We can't use it yet because we have to leave this area, but as this dude's this buddy over here is doing this perfectly. You're essentially gonna stand here. These big fucking shell looking crabs are gonna attack you. You attack them back, you AFK. It's super duper easy. So let me set up the NPC aggression timer plugin real quick. We do have to kind of get away from the area, which we're just going to use this mushroom, come right back, log in, log out, and it will be golden. The only problem with doing these ammonite crabs is they are fucking packed. I have in the past seen where I'm not available to get a world all day long. So I don't want to advocate for crashing people. I don't want to advocate for being a dickhead, but you will have to hop through every single goddamn world. So, okay, fellas, so as you all can see, the NPC aggression timer is set. Essentially what this does is, we'll use this for an example. Say there's some monsters here attacking us, blah, blah, blah. When this goes unaggressive after 10 minutes, we will just need to step out, step right back in, and it resets their aggression. But then the next time we'll have to step out of this box again, yada, yada, yada. Just rinse and repeat until the monsters just keep attacking you. Not that big of a deal, but the big deal now is hopping around and finding a world. So we're going to do that for a while. If it takes a crazy amount of time, I'll probably just go get something to eat and come back and try again. But yeah, that's what we're going to do just real quick. Oh my fucking God, fellas. We finally found a goddamn world. That was a little rough. We almost started from the bottom and now we're here. Probably well over 30 hops, but now we're golden. You know, someone's probably going to crash us here in the future, but hey, that's a-okay. We're going to be perfectly fine. Turn on auto retaliate, set up your potions, and kick back and get 10 fucking minutes of AFK. Super duper easy, man. I don't know really what the stats we're going to get for a little bit. Probably not more than like 30k XP an hour, which, I mean, it's pretty good considering we only need a couple K per level. What I'm going to do though, and there is tons of fucking controversy about this, so it's really personal preference. I don't know exactly what is best. I haven't obviously ran the numbers or anything, but what I'm going to do is get 50 strength, 50 attack to be able to wear a new weapon, and then get 50 defense, then then 60 attack, then 60 defense, so I can wear the obsidian set, because that is going to be our best in slot training set and weapon for a very, very, very long fucking time. So that's kind of my game plan for now. We're gonna do that, and it's gonna take a while. We're gonna AFK, we're gonna chillax, not gonna be too much to really do. We're gonna get 40k XP per hour, absolutely crazy. And you boys, you can do this on mobile. Now, obviously, you're not gonna have all the fancy plugins. You're not gonna see exactly where to click away to re-aggro them, but you can still do this. It's not fucking rocket science. You can put it on your phone while you're at work if you have that kind of job, or really anything. It's super fucking awesome. And we're gonna get some sick gains. So without further ado, boys, I'm gonna check in. I'm not gonna show you every level, probably every big milestone. We'll hop back in, and let's get these fucking gains. Boom, there we go, 50 attack. We can now retire the rune skimmy and put on the fucking Chad Granite Hammer. We're gonna be doing this all the way till 60 attack. It's a little bit more DPS, a little bit more damage, so of course we're gonna use it. Now, we are gonna actually stay 50 strength for quite a while. Strength is really how your XP per hour goes up. Obviously that and having better weapons, better armor, all that good shit. But really, we're gonna get 60 attack, 60 defense, so we can wear our obsidian items, and we're going to use this nice nifty granite hammer all the way. So then once we have that, we can then equip the obsidian, obviously, and then straight to 99 strength all the way from that. But that's going to be a long fucking time down the road. I think the in-game goal right now is going to get about 80 in the combat melee stats, and then 75 ranged for something very, very juicy in the future. But anyways, boys, I'm gonna kick back, keep AFKing, keep relaxing, and getting this nice juicy XP. And there we go. We actually missed it because we're AFK as fuck. But fellas, as you can see all this XP we've gotten today, we have been fucking AFKing. Super nice to work from home sometimes, but look at this, fellas. Absolutely fucking beautiful. Our XP is about to skyrocket. We just hit 60 attack, 60 defense, and now we're going to train our strength up to, you guessed it, we're going to get level 70. And then from there, we're going to go straight all the way to 70 in attack, and then 70 in defense as well. And then we have something juicy planned after that. All right, boys, boom. We now have 60 strength, which is a huge milestone for one big reason. We're 60 all melee stats, baby. Combat level 74, looking fucking mean and brutal with our obsidian equipped dragon boots. Of course, if y'all can see up here in the top left-hand corner, that nice juicy XP. Boys, it's been a brand new day. I've been here for roughly 3.5 hours, and we've got over 150,000 strength XP. We're going to sit here and chill until we have 70 in all stats. We're going to go to 70 strength first, 70 attack, finish off with 70 defense. It honestly probably should be more than a couple more days here. I know for you guys it's literally seconds. For me it's days, which that's just the way the RuneScape content creation goes. You guys get like the ×10 speed on this shit, so nothing crazy there, nothing new. But we also are then going to be finishing off with 75 ranged for that juicy blowpipe unlock. And really, I didn't completely talk about why I've decided to take a full-on break from questing, but the main issue is, obviously, we all have real life obligations and responsibilities, but also some of the bosses here in the future are going to get a little tough. Even with our prayer from the gods, some of these bosses are going to be hard for us to finish off with our measly 40 combat stats. We also need to start training some Slayer for quest requirements, so that's something else that we're gonna have to get down. And Slayer is super fucking slow. I know it's adorable for loads of people. I personally don't find it that fun. It feels like a WoW quest to me. That's the whole fucking skill, is just a WoW pick-me-up quest. But I do know it has a lot of value to a lot of people, and especially when you get to the higher levels, it's super dope to train. But the low levels are just brutally slow. I'm talking like 10k, maybe 20k XP per hour. We don't want to do that. We're going to get our stats pretty high first so we can cannon all of our tasks, kill everything in pretty much 1 or 2 hits, and get that nice juicy Slayer XP. So I thought now would be a perfect time to break, get our stats up, maybe get a fire cape here in the future. Spoilers. But yeah, that's gonna be the plan for now. So anyways, we're gonna go back to AFK. Probably gonna get like 65, 70 strength today, and then finish off the rest of the stats tomorrow. But fellas, just know
ammonite crabs are the shit. We will actually be switching over to Nightmare Zone here in a little bit as well, and I'll show you guys how that's going to end up. Boom, fellas. Holy shit. Do you all see that beautiful number? 70 strength. That is absolutely huge for the account. That is beautiful. I love 7 is my lucky number. I love seeing 7. Base 70s is where I really consider you to start being a real Chad, a real RuneScape player, and it just looks fucking gorgeous. We now are 79 combat, almost hitting 80. The next thing we're going to go straight into is going to be 70 attack. You know, nothing wrong with that. Will allow us to equip some barrels, weapons, the good old abyssal whip. Not that we're going to be using any of that for a pretty long time. We're going to stick with this good old obsidian. This bad boy right here is the best in slot training gear until 92 hit points, until you can put on the full Darnic set and go do some strange things in the Nightmare Zone, which we'll be doing here a little bit later. But for now, we're gonna real quick, I do want to admire this. We were getting 63, it was 63-ish K XP per hour for like the last 5 hours while I'm working on some projects for work, kicking back, chilling. You guys can do this on your phone as well. Just gotta click like every 5 minutes. You just do a little tap, little click, boom, and then obviously you just run away every 10 minutes or so. Super duper easy. I know it looks like a lot of XP, and it is technically a lot of hours that you do need to grind here, but really it goes by so quick because you can do other things. That's why RuneScape's beautiful. It's a game you can play while you play other games or do other things. It allows for a lot of real life gains. So anyways, without further ado, we're going to take off strength, pop on attack, and kick back and relax until 70 attack. Fellas, holy shit, I was AFKing so hard, completely missed the level up, but look at this. 70 attack, 69, nice. Look at that, 70 attack, 70 strength. We're just plowing along. Let's pop up the XP gain today. A little over 250K, pretty beautiful. So now we're gonna hop over to defense. It's the same deal, boys. We're just doing it over and over again. This is the goddamn day after tomorrow. We're the man trapped in the bubble. Just the same day. Groundhog Day, fellas. Same thing over and over and over again. Probably won't get 70 defense until tomorrow, but hey, that's perfectly fine. We'll get it pretty quickly nonetheless. Boys, we have been absolutely grinding. I completely missed this level, and this one's actually a huge level. 70 defense, boys, look at this. 70 attack, 70 strength, 70 defense, looking pretty. We're 86 combat, 69 hit points, and we've been completely zoned out. It's actually time to switch over. We've been here for for you all, it seems like absolutely no time at all, but for me, it's been days. Really, a couple, probably 20 or 30 hours at this point. Nothing crazy. Work from home, so just pop this open. A little bit of ammo crab, so absolutely no problem. But now, boys and girls, we're gonna be switching it over into our ranged gear. All right, boys, if you all can tell, we're absolutely decked the fuck out and ready to do some range training. We got all of these beautiful ranging pots in our inventory. They're only like 500 GP each and totally increase your XP by roughly, I would say, like 10 to 15%, so definitely worth it to splurge just a little bit. Grab these ranging potions, but other than that, boys, we're decked out. We did fill up our unholy book, cost us about 150K, nothing crazy. All the gear, nothing extreme. We're gonna be using adamant darts. This should be enough to get us 70, maybe 75. If not, I got some black knives as backup, but I mean, nothing's really expensive with range training anymore. I mean, darts are dirt cheap because people use them for fletching training, so nothing crazy there. But we have a we have a journey ahead of us, fellas. We got to get all the way to 75. The XP per hour, I just started, so it's not gonna be 100% accurate. Looking to be about 40K XP per hour. Hopefully we can get it over 60 at some point. You know, once we get high up there in the levels, it will get a little bit better. But for now, we're gonna be sitting here chilling all the way to level 75, so we can unlock that juicy blowpipe. So nothing much is really gonna happen. I'm gonna, you know, do my job, work, go to the gym, do what I gotta do, and make sure I'm always logged in and killing some fucking crabs. And that's gonna be about it, boys. We'll be back with level 75 ranged. Okay, boys, real quick, while we're here, I ran out of ranging potions, so I was like, man, this is a perfect time to go grab one of these huge upgrades. So essentially, I've been using this off as a tractor. It's not bad. It's a cute little backpack, blue, you know, looks pretty nifty. But there is a couple of upgraded versions you can get. Now, obviously, we're not gonna be able to get the Ava's Assembler because it requires completion of Dragon Slayer 2, and that's pretty huge. But we can actually go ahead and get the Ava's Accumulator. and this pretty much doubles its stats and also allows it to pick up 2 steel. Obviously, we're shooting out these adamant darts at this point, so we're not worried about picking these back up. They are pretty penny. I think this should be more than enough to actually get us to 75, so like half a mil, not too bad at all. But now, boys, we're gonna head right back over to Fossil Island and get our 75 ranged. Boys, we are back. I almost missed it. We got 70 range just a little bit ago, probably about 5 or 10 minutes ago, nothing crazy. And we went ahead and popped on this nice, juicy black d'hide looking absolutely like a fucking Chad. We're going to stay here a little bit longer because I do need to AFK. We got a bunch of ranging pots to go through. We'll see what level we can get. We may end up, maybe not, it kind of depends on how I'm feeling. We may end up going ahead and getting a magic short bow with some amethyst arrows and heading over to the Nightmare Zone and setting that up. But we still do have to get 75, so we'll kind of see how that pans out. I'm going to keep AFKing while I'm working. I got a few little projects I'm doing on the side, so we're going to handle those and keep getting this nice, juicy range XP. Now that our stats are pretty beefed up, we're ready to take advantage of the second busted training method, the Nightmare Zone. Most new players hear whispers of the Nightmare Zone and wonder, what the fuck is it? A zone for nightmares? It sounds like it could be a pretty dope mini game or boss maybe, but in reality it's a relic of how old school RuneScape used to be. It was released just months after the game came out and was the first big update from the old school team. And well, you can tell, they didn't have access to an artist or many of the tools that they have today. This resulted in a bland area right outside Yanil where you can fight previous quest bosses for a fee. Now the RuneScape community, being how it is, figured out a way to absolutely bust this place down and turn it into the best training area in the game. It offers the best rates, a real AFK experience, and you can even profit while here. So we'll be abusing this busted system to level up our stats. With how good the Nightmare Zone is, you'd think it's locked behind the quest point cave or having some insane stats. Nope, you just need 5 of the quests on screen completed. It can be any 5 you wish. This will give you access to fight these bosses again in the Nightmare Zone. Then, with just a little minigame teleport, you'll be right there. With that being said, I can know it can be confusing when you first arrive. You have a floating man, an area with a cow, and some strange kegs off in the distance. It's all a little weird. The floating man is Darnic. He's from Lunar Isle and specializes in dreams. His dreams are so good that they seem real. So, for a fee, he'll let you sip from his magic potion of dreams and enter the Nightmare Zone. In this zone, you'll be fighting old quest enemies. They can be on hard mode, normal, whatever you like. He also has different modes such as Endurance or Rumble. Endurance is a one-on-one fight with every boss you've ever defeated. You'll keep going on and on and on until you kill them all, or they kill you. And Rumble is what you'd expect. You're rumbling and tumbling with multiple bosses of your choosing until you die. Now, if it's your first time setting foot in the Nightmare Zone, you're not going to have any points for those busted overloads or absorption potions. So you'll need to stack up on some points your first time in. Easiest way to do that is to take some food, super combats, prayer potions, and some decent melee gear, because you'll be fighting all your previous boss encounters on hard mode. You'll need to talk to Darnic to set up an endurance hard mode. Then just keep fighting them as they come at you until you get to Elvarg, and then just leave the encounter. Do this a couple times over and over and over until you've built up around 50,000 starting points. From there you can buy some overloads and absorption potions, and your AFK training will always net you more points than you spend, so you're never gonna run out from here on out. Now that you have some points stacked up, you're ready to finally do some Nightmare Zone training. You're in the big leagues now, and time to level up your stats and act like it. First things first, you want to grab a Dwarven Rock Cake. These bad boys are given out during a sub-quest for Recipe for Disaster. And if you've been following my guide, then you're good to go. You'll just need to return to Rohak with 100 coins for your rock cake. This item allows your hit points to get all the way down to 1. Now I know what you're probably thinking, why do you want 1 hit points? Well, that's because we're going to be using Absorption Potion. And like the name implies, they absorb any damage you take. And if you only have 1 hit point, then you can only take 1 damage. This massively extends the length of your Nightmare Zone trips. Now that you can eat down to 1, you'll need some decent gear to train with. On screen now are my melee and ranged setups. I'll be using these to train my stats all the way to 99. And finally, a big part of the Nightmare Zone training is selecting the right bosses to kill. Now, everyone has their own preferences depending on how AFK you want it to be, or your points per hour, or the combat XP. It all changes depending on the bosses you pick. But for me, I like to have a decent mix of AFK, points, and XP. So if you select the same bosses as I do, you're gonna get some amazing results. All right, boys, so we're in here, we're ready to rock and roll. Now, you probably have already gotten an overview of Nightmare Zone before this, but essentially, this is all we're going to do, fellas. We're going to sit at 1 HP. When this little bar gets about right there, we're going to flick that, and boom, it goes all the way back down. This is just flicking the rapid heal, which kind of resets your HP regen. But yeah, we're going to sit here, we're going to chill, we're going to throw that on. It says 45k XP per hour. Probably not 100% accurate, considering I've been doing range training before. So reset the XP per hour real quick, see what it gets up to. I'm assuming it's going to be around 60k XP an hour because overloads are absolutely fucking busted. We're going to stay at 85 ranged for 5 minutes straight. Then we're going to re-overload, rinse, and repeat. Should be some pretty juicy XP. Now, obviously, we would fill up our whole inventory with absorptions and overloads typically, but I didn't have enough points for that. We will be getting some points from here, so it's okay. Not a huge deal. But anyways, boys, we're gonna sit back, chill. This is legitimately 5 minutes of AFK. You do not have to fight with noobs over the ammonite crabs, and it's super chill. This is gonna be essentially how we're gonna be training all the way to max stats at the end of the day. But for now, we're just gonna get 75 ranged, go get our nice juicy fire cape, and then we're gonna go adventuring, do some more quests. So I forgot to mention there are these nice juicy power-ups that kind of spawn all over the map. The one that we're really looking for is called Power Surge, and if you have any sort of idea what it does, it gives you infinite spec. So we're just gonna be sitting here specking. If y'all didn't know, the MSB will always hit no matter what. So this is absolutely fucking amazing to use, and it's gonna, I would say, increase your XP per hour by like 20% as long as you're running and picking them up. The only downside to staying here is that you can hit multiple, so your absorptions go down a whole lot faster. It's not like a huge deal or anything, but it does make a little bit of a difference. So I thought I would point that out. You guys should probably be staying in the middle. If you're really trying to AFK, over there is the best area, but if you're trying to get the maximum XP, get all of this juicy XP, it's best to stand right here. As you can see, we're getting around 70k XP an hour, and that's from me running here, picking up the power up. It does say Power Surge. Boom, you come pick it up as a little yellow orb, and you will get infinite spec for about, I don't know the exact time, it's like 20 or 30 seconds. Nothing crazy, but it's enough time to really boost up your XP. So highly recommend that. But other than that, fellas, we're just going to sit here and chill. We have 400 absorption left. Our points are looking okay. Typically, you will get more points than you spend on absorptions, especially at the later levels. At the early ones, it's a little rough. Sometimes it's 1 for 1, but more or less when we run out of absorptions, we should be able to run out, buy some more absorptions, buy another overload, run back in, rinse and repeat until we're maxed. So that's what we're going to do. Anyways, I thought I'd throw that little tip in there. For example, this one is just reoccurring damage. It's not really useful. We're going to use it. It's not good for XP, but it is good for points, and we do need points right now until we can get a complete full inventory without running out. It's probably best to pick up everything except like the instant kill one. So that's what we're going to do, fellas, and hopefully we get some nice juicy points. All right, fellas, that was our first little bit of Nightmare Zone. We got a lot of points. We got about 60k points. Started with 11k, about 10-15 minutes of AFK. Nothing too insane, but now we have enough to actually go ahead and buy a lot. Well, not a whole lot, but we can definitely buy a whole lot more than we were. I like to buy the overloads in multiples of 4. So your elementary school math is definitely going to help you here. I'm going to purchase 16. That's going to be a little bit more than an hour, so that should be more than enough, and then we'll buy enough absorptions. This will also probably last us more than enough time. I always like to start out perfectly good, so we're going to just empty everything. Yes, please. We're going to take, like I said, multiples of 4. So actually, you know what? I think 12 is more than enough for right now. That's going to be a whole hour. We're then going to take probably all the restores we can, take out all 35, be nice and juicy. Looks like we were averaging about 60k. Sometimes you don't get the Power Surge all the time, so it's okay. We're gonna go ahead and pop in here. This should last us a whole hour of pure AFK juiciness. The really the best thing about this is, one, we do need the points anyways to get our nice imbues up, but also on top of all of that, we don't have to fight people for those fucking crabs, and it's so annoying having to fight people for the crabs. So this makes it a whole lot easier. I'm gonna chug down some absorptions and get back to doing the nice AFK, boys. And all the wonderful ladies out there, if you all want to take a gander over to this beautiful range level, it is now level 75. We've been here for a good amount of time, nothing crazy. We got to do what you got to do sometimes. There are some long grinds in old school RuneScape, and we definitely been here for a little bit. So we're going to drink the magic potion, get out of Nightmare Zone, and go get our fire cape. So the next time you see me, I'm going to be geared up, ready to rock and roll. The gear it's going to be pretty simple, not going to be doing anything expensive, obviously, because our bank isn't crazy. We're not rich, so we're going to be going with kind of a little budget setup. But before we dive into that, let me talk about Jad in the fight caves real quick. Unless you're brand new to RuneScape, you've probably heard of the fight caves before. An epic challenge where you have to do battle against wave after wave of Tazar warriors, each wave getting more difficult than the last, until you reach wave 63 and do battle against one of old school RuneScape's toughest bosses. He can one-shot you with any of his attacks, and he gets healed after you get him to half HP. But if you are successful in taking him down, you'll be rewarded with a fire cape. The fire cape is one of old school RuneScape's most iconic items. Back in 2007, it was the sign of a true gamer. So today we're going to venture deep into the fight caves and claim our spot among champions. Before we can even think of heading to the fight caves, you'll need to get your gear and inventory situated. The cave itself is just a huge endurance run, so you're going to need to last for over an hour. So you're going to be stocked up when you go in. On screen now is my recommended gear and inventory that I'll be taking with me. The gear is a little expensive, but if it's your first time going through the caves, I'd highly recommend it. Now that you have your gear and inventory set up, you're ready to head in, but you should probably know what you're up against. Now, as you all know, I'm not good with names, especially RuneScape names, so we'll just be calling stuff what I call them, but the real name and picture will be up on screen. First, you have the little level 22 bats. These little bastards will drain your prayer for whatever they hit, so they should always be your first priority unless you have them stuck somewhere. Next up is the level 45 blobs. These fat boys are easy to take down, but they'll split into 2 more enemies once you kill them. I always recommend using your blowpipe spec to heal up on these, but you can pretty much ignore them until other higher priority mobs are killed off. Next is the level 90 Rangers. These are where a majority of your damage will be taken. Because they can hit pretty hard and frequently, I'd recommend taking them down as fast as possible. You can pray range on the earlier waves and ignore them, but once you get a little bit deeper, you'll have to tank the damage. Following the Rangers are the level 180 melee healers. Now I know these are healers, but they can smack you pretty fucking hard. I'd recommend using the Italy Rock or the Dragon Rock to safe spot these mobs. Once they are safe spotted, you can pretty much ignore them until last. And finally, the level 360 Mage Dogs. Once you hit wave 31, you should always be protecting magic if one of these are alive. They hit hard and often, so you will not be able to tank more than 1 or 2 hits from these bad boys. And their defense is pretty high as well, so I'd normally recommend saving these for last once all other mobs are dead and using Eagle Eye to take them down fast. My normal priority list, if all mobs are alive, are the bats, rangers, healers, blobs, and mage dogs. If you follow that priority list, you probably won't have any problems at all. Now for the big boy himself, Jad. He seems super scary and tough the first time you get to him, because one prayer slip up and you're dead. In our hit points level, there is no tanking a shot. We can make no mistakes for the whole duration of the fight. So before you even set foot in the caves, I'd highly recommend you to check out the Jad simulator. In the description below will be a link to the website. Essentially, it's a Jad trainer without having to spend the hours getting to Jad and then dying from one hit. It will get you ready for each attack that comes at you. So once you have the prayers down, you need to make sure you're ready for the healers, as Jad will have 4 healers that spawn when he gets to 50% health. Now normally I'll just tag each healer while making sure I'm still on the right prayer. Once they're all tagged, you just go back onto Jad until he's dead. But I will still say that during the fight, the hardest part isn't prayers or killing healers or even taking down Jad himself. It's your nerves, because you just spent well over an hour to get to a boss that can one-shot you with one mistake, wasting all that time. I totally get it. So do whatever you need to do to get your nerves under control. Smoke a bulb, take a shot, bust a nut, whatever you gotta do. Once Jad comes out, the steel nerves need to be turned on. All right, boys and girls, we're back. We're ready. We're ready to rock and roll. We have all the gear we're really going to need: brews, super restores, bash, and potions. Now, I will preface all of this with the fact that this gear is pretty much what we're going to be using. Obviously, we need to, use darts, use our scales. Beautiful. We now have that nice, juicy, toxic blowpipe. Super easy deasy. Put all this on and we're good to rock and roll. This is pretty much gonna be our gear. Obviously, we can go grab our backpack, but this is gonna be it. This is gonna be the fucking setup. Bonuses are obviously pretty nice. We're gonna wear the Varrock's plate skirt for a little bit of juicy defense. We do need to go imbue this archer's ring, which is kind of why we wanted to start doing Nightmare Zone. And then also we are gonna be using these dragon darts to take out Jad super fast, because if you all know, 75 range, 70 defense, it's not the highest, right? It goes all the way to 99, a whole lot more defensive bonuses, and we're not going to kill him too quickly. So we need every little bit of benefit that we can get out of it, right? So we're going to use those dragon darts. I'll show you guys what I mean when we get there, but essentially wave 62, we're going to switch out our amethyst darts for dragon darts so we can take down that big bad motherfucker pretty quickly without taking too much damage from the healers, because we are just going to have to sit there and face tank all of them. But we're going to go get this imbued and yeah, start the caves. I haven't done a fire cape, and I mean, especially at this range level, I've never done a fire cape with this low. I think I did mine at like 81 or something, so not crazy. I also did mine with like a crystal bow, but I've done it with the blowpipe since around 90 range. It was super easy in 90 range. I'm assuming 75 is not going to be too difficult either. I bought enough supplies for 2 attempts, so this is essentially 2 attempts. Let's see here, around $1 mil for 2 attempts, so around 500k per attempt. Nothing crazy. You also don't really need to use super restores. You could use like a couple super restores and a couple prayer pots. It's be pretty easy. But anyways, fellas, let's just go ahead and fucking dive into it, raw dog it, and get it done. All right, boys, so real quick, while we got these big ugly motherfuckers, I just want to let you all know a little tip, or a little pro tip. It's not really a pro tip at this point. Jad's been completely figured out. But during the fight caves, this level 360 is going to spawn wherever he spawns. This one, not this light orange one. Wherever the light orange one spawns will be where Jad spawns. So he spawned here. Jad's going to pop right here. Just to help you guys get ready. Always kill him last as well, because he's going to be in the area. So we're going to drop him real quick, drop this motherfucker, and then drop Jad and get our juicy fire cape. All right, fellas, I have an apology to make to all of you. I got all the way to Jad, told Jad to do it, did it, completed Jad, and got our fire cape. Not too bad, right? It was great. It was easy peasy, to be completely honest. And the fucking game didn't record. The OBS said, fuck nah, I'm not recording. And here we are. We're going to venture back into the caves. I reorganized my inventory a little bit. Looks like I need a little bit more super restores than brews. So if you guys are doing this right out of the gate, follow this and we're going to go in. We're going to get our second fire cape, and we're going to get the fucking pet by gambling it. So that's what we're about to go do, fellas. See y'all in an hour and a half. All right, boys, we are wave 61, almost 62. 62 is that beautiful wave with the double 360s. We're going to record all this just because, don't know what happened last time. Record button just didn't want to go off, but, definitely we'll get it this time. We have more than enough supplies, I believe. I have in the very past had a run-in where I didn't have enough brews because my defense level is so low and the healers can kind of fuck you up. So I kind of have a strategy. We'll kill 2 healers, and then we'll go on to Jad, kill him. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. Dragon darts will absolutely shred. Biggest thing is just not getting my prayers mixed up. So really kind of the thing I normally go for is click on Jad, obviously make sure your prayers are good. So every Jad attack, you need to make sure you have your next one ready. So it's like one option, one action, and then you do click back on Jad. That's kind of the strategy I go for, just to make sure your prayers are never getting too funky, because one tiny slip up, and at this level, we are absolutely dead. So it's gonna be beautiful. Not the best spawn, but Jad's gonna be directly in the middle right here, because this big orange motherfucker is gonna be where Jad spawns, if you didn't know that. So we'll know he spawns right here. So we'll kill this one off. As this one's almost dead, we'll switch over to dragon darts and equip those, and we also bashing up, super Saradomin up, all the good shit. Make sure we're ready to rock and roll. Yeah, we'll kill Jad, get our second fire cape, gamble it, and maybe get a pet. All right, boys, here we go. No range attack first, coming out the gate, easy peasy. Magic attack, no problem. All right, so we got the healers are going to be spawning. First, just make sure your Prayers are good. Beautiful. We're good. Keep on Jad as well. And beautiful. We'll kill 2 healers and then go right back onto Jad. Perfect. We're almost there, boys. And he didn't heal to full, so beautiful. This should be an easy bag. And beautiful, there we go, a new personal best. Of course, we've already done this one time, so a little easy peasy, but we now have our second fire cape. Fucking beautiful to see. This is absolutely huge for the account. It's obviously one of the greatest achievements we can get early game, mid game. Kind of puts us into that mid game section. We got it at probably one of the earliest parts that most new players can get. Once you get 75, that blowpipe makes this easy peasy. And boys, just look at that. The nostalgia is coming back. 14-year-old me would be creaming in his fucking pants right now, fellas. But we're gonna do something special just really quick. We're gonna go in here to our nice juicy bank, get out our second fire cape, and we're gonna gamble one of these bad boys and well, you know, maybe get a pet. We'll bargain one of them. Not lucky. Maybe next time. Maybe next time indeed. Once we do start doing some Slayer, obviously Jad tasks are on the agenda because they give loads of Slayer XP. But boys, just look at that. It's full HD fire cape. We got the boys in the clan chat going wild. Had to do it the second time. Obviously can't be called a cape buyer, especially not for a fire cape in 2022. So obviously we had to run that one more time and we did it absolutely beautifully. So yeah, now we have so many goals. We can finally go back to questing, doing a whole lot of beautiful things, but that will have to be into the next episode. So if you guys love the content, hit me a subscribe. Highly appreciate it. And boys, until the next one.